Howdy doody everybody, my name is KevGuuey and welcome back to Distant Memorajo. I wasn't looking to become a multilingual master like the two of them right from the start. The first and most important thing was to learn Juliamo. It was titled Participles. I'd only gotten a brief explanation and it seemed to make sense to me at the time, but looking at it now, it looked like garbled gibberish. That plus the fact that it had some kind of border around it is what caught my eye this time. I figured it was finally time to buckle down and study it.
動詞的な語根に分詞設備詞を加え、さらに品詞語尾を加えることで表現する方法ね。全く理解できない。
She is really struggling with this. As a student back in my old world, just reading an explanation like that in a textbook would have been enough to drain all my motivation. Wow. But my time spent living in this world now had me looking for more efficient ways to study. That's the way to go. Just skip it. And then as I forged ahead, if I encountered something I recognized, I would latch onto that as my point of attack. Oh. Is this an ending?
Non mi revenis. Lin?
Oh, Ruko is back? But she sounded so far away. Was I dreaming? But it couldn't have been more than 10 minutes since I started studying. And I was right in the middle of studying participles. I know I said I'd skip over that part, but I figured I should at least try to do what I could. If Ruka actually had come back home, how would I express that? Ruka, who had returned home, called out to me. I had no way of confirming. I'd have to go to the library and ask Miss Ray. I rubbed my sleepy eyes and saw Ruka's face in front of me. It was the truth, but also wiping the drool from my mouth, a lame excuse for my shameful appearance. And on top of that, my stomach was growling, which I tried to cover with an embarrassed grin. This was one of my greatest weaknesses as a creature of instinct.
Yes!
Any lingering drowsiness was gone in an instant. I rushed to the kitchen to find what appeared to be a main dish of stir-fried meat and vegetables, along with 2 small plates piled high with colorful salads. There was nothing left for me to do. Even more concerning was the fact that Ruka had done all this as I slept without me realizing it. I couldn't exactly agree with her there. After all, Ruka had been studying at school all day too. I, on the other hand, I'd been able to lounge around on the sofa without any pressure, do push-ups on the floor, and basically study at my leisure. My guilty conscience hadn't gone anywhere, but I wasn't sure I wanted to be strung along by it indefinitely, so I changed the subject to lighten the mood.
学校どうだった? ほどや。楽しかったです。いいよ、ユリアーモで。Can ako presentes novan amikon al mi?
Introduce to present. Okay, can't click those.
かなこが新しい友人を Yes! La knabino estas studento de la najbara klaso kaj ŝi estas tre ĉarma.
So, okay, so yes, the girl is a student of the neighboring class, and she is very cute. The moment she said that, my ears locked on to a certain set of words.
かわいい女の子だと
Before I knew it, I'd isolated that one part and reconstructed it in Japanese.
Tamen, mi ne estas certa. Ĉu ŝi plaĉos al lin?
What? What? Why did she make an iffy expression when she said that part?
気になりますか？その女の子のこと？特には気にならないかな。よかった。でも私はちょっと不満です。
Every now and then, Ruka would pronounce something in a way that made it really hard for me to guess what she meant. This time I decided to just be direct.
何が不満なのか教えて。嫌です。
Oh, I see. I understand what's going on.
なんだと？
The way she brutally refused with that angelic smile on her face sent me reeling, and I couldn't help but wince as if I'd been hit. Oh no, be a lady, be a lady, be a lady.
ちゃんと教えてほしいな。
Why was she so cute? I wanted to give her the moon if I could. But what would I do if I kept giving in to her charms?
ミペタス。それはリンが気にしないからです。気にしないからよかったじゃなくてうまく言えません。
Say what? Say what? Right now, my mind was also a whirlwind of thoughts and feelings that I was struggling to put into words. She looked up at me with a troubled expression on her face before looking to the side and pursing her lips, all while tapping her heel. I didn't think she could express herself any more adorably.
Lin, kion vi nun imagas? 別に変なことは想像してないよ。
I tried to put on a serious expression to ward off her suspicion, but when I saw how much she was enjoying this, I couldn't help but smile too. Despite the problems she had been dealing with, Ruka still seemed to be enjoying her time as a student. That alone was enough to make me happy, but when I thought about how my getting involved had been the trigger for her resolution, I couldn't help but pat myself on the back for such a good job.
リン、楽しいの理由を教えて。
I also wanted to tell her,
少しは役に立てたよね。
but at the same time I was embarrassed, and it wasn't a good look to toot your own horn. So,
ルカが楽しそうだから、私も楽しいの。
I fudged the truth a little bit, but didn't go so far as lying. So a white lie.
私もリンが楽しそうで嬉しい。
Ruka expressed her feelings by virtually repeating what I had said. Normally that would have made me happy enough to polish off 3 plates of food, but I was feeling a little insecure right now, like my weak points were all exposed.
ルカは私の知らない時間を過ごしてるんだよね。
But then everyone was like that. I had parts of my life that Ruka wasn't involved in either. But it wasn't like we were equal in that regard. My options were basically limited to being here or at the library, and the only person I was on casual terms was with Miss Ray. Ruka, on the other hand, had lots of acquaintances in the open environment that was her school.
心が狭いな、私。
Honestly, I was a little jealous that she got to interact with people I'd never met before. But then,
Lasta tempe, ankaŭ kanako ofte ridas. Ŝajnas al mi ke ŝi estas gaja.
just hearing the name of that girl got me a little riled.
本当に仲直りしたんだよね。
I'd heard from both Ruka and Miss Ray that Kanako had called them to apologize. It wasn't like I'd heard from her directly.
悪い子じゃないとは思うんだけど。
Even so, until just recently, she had been the cause of Ruka's gloom. From my side, things still felt very unresolved. But maybe if Kanako and I could...
ねえルカ、もし今度私がカナコと会うようなことがあれば、その時はリンがカナコと会う？ああ、そのね、問い詰めたいとかじゃなくて、本当にちょっとだけ話して事実を確認したいだけで。Mi estas certa que vi povas amikiĝi kun Kanako.
Are you certain? We can... You also can become friends with Kanako.
私がカナコと友達に？ Yes、きっと私よりも仲良くする。いやいや、それはないない。私は認めてないし。認めてない？キヨン？その、なんていうか、一連の。実際のところどうなの？ルカはカナーコを許したの？あなたとカナーコは本当に仲良くしているの？
Maybe it was an irrational fear, but I was worried it might all just be an act, you know? I looked her right in the eye so I could be sure I wouldn't miss anything in her facial expressions. Then, after she spent a few seconds of thinking,
Yes! もう平気です。
Ruka said, smiling ear to ear.
今の間は。
Was it that she needed a few seconds to process my Japanese, or was it...
リン、どうかしましたか？
So I think it just seems like it was too easy peasy, and is it really true? I'm a little worried. I think those are two very paranoid responses. So I think to relieve Kanako is there is a good one.
カナーコがいれば安心だね。
Gave a safe and indirect reply that I'd been saving in my back pocket.
安心？キユ？誰がって、ルカも私も。二人がですか？そうそう。ルカはカナーコを頼れるわけだし、私も。
I made a bitter face as the image of Kanako shaking my arms from her shoulders popped into my head.
過去のいつまでも引きずるな。
Kanako had owned up to her side of things and made peace with Ruka.
私も彼女信頼するよ。
Even I would have to start maturing eventually, right?
学校か。
I tried to picture myself setting off for school alongside Ruka in the mornings. Even our normal everyday conversations might start to take on a different shape.
今日はどんな授業があるの？とか、帰りは何時？とか。
If I were to ask Ruka on her way out the door, she would just keep her answer short and simple. That was because any kind of detailed explanation would be impossible for me to understand. Hearing her tell me all about her classes in Juliamo was still really hard for me to grasp. But if we started going to school together, that would all change. We might be in different years and in different classes, but if we both started spending our days sitting in class, a whole new world of possibilities would start to open up. The end of the school day would no longer just be the time when I started waiting for Ruka to get home.
Quien finijos via fodia la lezione? Gliela dexepa. Do, mi venas al via crown chambro por l'encontre vin.
I might even start making proactive suggestions, just like that.
これは私も学校に通うしかないってことか。
Finally. The right choice. I just have to cut into my lying around time to get the cleaning and laundry done from now on. Wait, I wasn't even going to be home in the first place, so that wasn't going to work. That's right.
まあ、そのあたりは後で考えるとして。
In fact, I had a lot of things I need to start planning out. It's true that I had Ruka Sensei and Miss Ray at my disposal, but I was basically self-taught at the moment. Once I reached a certain level of proficiency in Juliamo, well, I had no idea when that would even be. It made me feel like just throwing myself in the deep end might be the best option here.
よし、ルカが帰ってきたら相談してみよう。
I knew I'd have her support.
というわけで、ルカはどう思いますか？あれ、説明に失敗したかな？みバラスイリ。リンは学校へ行きたい。うん、そうそう、ちゃんと伝わっていたのね。リンは学校で勉強をしたい？まあ、その方が効率も良さそうだし。
A lot of hmms. Huh? It almost felt like she wasn't really on board with the idea.
学校に来る。ちょっと危険かも。え、まさか風紀が良くない？やんちゃさんが牛耳っている？やんちゃさん？なんていうか不良っぽい。そう、カナーコみたいな女の子がワンサか？
It sounds like bullies.
カナーコ？ワンサか？
Oops, I shouldn't have said that. How should I handle this, now that Hanako's name was out there? Actually, I was surprised too. Apparently, I still had a pretty strong mental association that Hanako equals delinquent.
ワンサか、なんですか？いっぱいだね。ユリアームだと、ムルテとか？カナコ、ムルテ。
Why did she smile at that part? I wasn't really in the mood for jokes, so I tried to get back on topic.
で、何が危険なの？それは。
Ruka regarded me carefully from the tips of my toes to the top of my head. Then she looked away and said, I will be ending this episode here in the next, and you will find out in the next episode of Distant Memorajo of what she said. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Distant Memorajo. If you guys enjoyed it, then please smash that like button, subscribe down below for more awesome videos. Don't forget to ring that little bell to get notifications of my uploads. Thank you everybody for watching this episode, and you guys will hear me in the next video. Goodbye!